Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing this face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So, hope it's why you're here because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, as you can see from today's title of the video, is another weekly wrap-up. This is week 50. We are already at week 50. 2 more weeks, people, and the end of the year is upon us. Oh my God. And I'm nowhere close to finishing any of my goals. But in week 50, I did finish some shit. So I'm very happy to say that. So this is the dates between December 8th and December 14th and all my reading shenanigans in between. So if you'd like to find out what I completed in those days, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay. So I am very proud of myself. Very, very proud of myself because I completed 2 books. 2, and one of them was completed well before I needed to complete it. So I am gonna pat myself on the back there. Myself a little pat on the back because awesome. I think it's the first time I've done that all fucking year. And the first book I completed in week 50 was The Briar Book of the Dead by A.G. Slatter. This is my Black Hat Book Coven book of the month, guys, and it's already done. It was done before I even had the sprints on December 15th. Oh yeah, mic drop. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud of myself. We have to move, you guys. Sorry, love letting. You kind of have to move. I need a little bit of a display section here. There we go. There. Okay, that works. Okay. So I completed this book. I did give it 3 stars. This was my Black Hat Book Coven book of the month for December, and it was my pick. And I only gave it 3 stars. The live show for this bad boy is going to be on December 29th at 4 p.m. Central Time over here on my channel. So please join us for that. It's the last Sunday of the year, and we will be actually releasing a tier ranking video. All of us will be releasing a tier ranking video earlier that morning of our rankings of all the books of that year. So please keep your in mind for that video along with the live show, because on the live show, after we talk about this book, we will be ranking them as a group, kind of a group coven discussion final wrap up of the year. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that one. But let's get talking about this book. So this is a standalone. It's paranormal. It has murder, sacrificial burning, family secrets, and human gore, just to name a few things that happens in it. Quick summary, we follow Ellie Briar, who is the first witch born to the Briars without any magical abilities in quite a long time. And after her grandmother's sudden death, who was the head witch, or what they call the Briar Witch, she and her 3 cousins are basically thrusted into the spotlight and now have to run the community. And her cousin, Audra, becomes the Briar Witch, but because Ellie has no power, she was assigned the role of the steward. So basically the right-hand man, the organizational, the doer behind the politician. Audra's the voice, she's the writer. So that's kind of how that works. But at grandmother's funeral, Ellie suffers an accident. She hits her head and she spills some blood. And all of a sudden now, a dormant power is unlocked in her, and she can see dead people. She can see dead people. And she can talk to them, and they can talk to her. It's kind of creepy, because all of a sudden she has no magical abilities whatsoever, but all of a sudden she can see fucking dead people. And by the way, she lives in a town that's supposed to not have any ghosts, because one of their ancestors rid the town of ghosts. But all of a sudden, all of these ghosties are appearing. It's kind of creepy. Now she does serve a purpose with this. She can actually talk to the dead and figure out why they're still there and send them on their way, by writing in her Book of the Dead. So through this, she has learned some family secrets. Some family secrets that literally shake the foundation of what she's grown up learning. Basically, people were not who they said they were. People could not do what they said they did, and a bunch of other things. And then we learn about an even bigger secret that hits a lot closer to home. And that's kind of where our story really, really kicks off. So what worked? Ellie's character. I loved her. I thought she was great. She was self-sufficient even though she had no magical abilities. It was very clear that the author made it very, very clear to us that even though this girl had no magical ability, she did not let that hold her back. She was like, screw you. I'm going to know the medicines. I'm going to know the poultices. I'm going to know how to take care of people. I'm going to be organized. I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be the best little secretarial minion you could possibly have. She was super, super self-sufficient. She was also extremely headstrong and very, very smart. She had a really good sense of who she was, where she was at all times, who to trust, who not to trust. A very good grounding. But she was still young. She still made mistakes. She still was a little bit emotional, and we see that in her. And I really, really enjoyed her well-rounded character. I thought it gave this book a lot of balance, a lot of structure, a lot of good support for the other characters, which we didn't really get as much as I wanted on those characters. We get mostly Ellie, but because we got such a good view of her, this story that she is the protagonist of, when it was around her, it was very, very clear cut. It was very understandable because we had such a good foundation for her. And I just really loved her character. She was a badass. She wasn't going to take shit. And when she did take shit, it was only because she needed to. And they got their comeuppance later. Like, she knew how to play the fucking game from the get-go. And I loved that. And she was also really quick on her feet. Really enjoyed that about her. I really enjoyed the magic system that was in this book. It was a blood sacrifice kind of system where they had to cut themselves, give the blood to be able to do the magic. And they showed it very, very well. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed all the demonstrations of the magic. I enjoyed the ceremonial aspect of the magic in this story. I thought it was really, really good. It gave a really good precedence to the ending twist, because knowing how they have to access their magic, what they have to do as a witch to access their magic, the very end is just like, I'm sorry, you're gonna do what? It made that moment so much more powerful, so much more compelling, and so much more creepy than I thought it was gonna be. I had a really, really good time with the magic system in this story. I've seen magic systems use blood play before. I've seen it, but I really liked how it was done with this one. It was clear, it was there, it was understandable, it wasn't confusing. The magic system in this book was not confusing at all. And I really enjoy that because I enjoy the magic system in witches' books. It's one of the things I look for in witches' books, as their magical abilities and how they're displayed and how they're used. And I really enjoyed this one. There was this overarching theme of like history repeating itself. You find as you read this book that some of the historical characters that we meet or that we learn stories about definitely resemble some of our current characters in their same predicaments. So I like this theme of history repeating itself and people learning from the mistakes or not learning from the mistakes and making the exact same ones and the same verdict happens. I really enjoyed that because history does repeat itself. History is secular. I can't actually say that word today. Being a history major, you find this repetition in history all the time. So it's really nice when authors actually show it. And to show it within a family dynamic is even cooler because that happens too. That happens a lot more than people think happens. And so I really enjoyed that it was shown there. We got to see how each generation had their power hungry, had their weak, had their kind of complacent, and how they all kind of functioned within each other. I thought that was really, really cool, and how it just kept showing this theme over and over again. Another thing I really enjoyed about this story, and you might find this shocking or you might not based off what you know about me, everybody in this family needs some fucking therapy. Or Jesus. One of the two. But since they're witches, probably not going to have Jesus with them. Okay? This family is a Jerry Springer episode, if there ever was one. Holy shit. And I'm not talking about intermingling, intersex. I'm just talking about the backstabbing and just the fucking, oh my God. You all need fucking therapy. You need Jesus. Jesus Christ. I thought that was really going to annoy me, but as I kept reading through the story, I actually really started to enjoy it because this author fully embraced the idea that everybody's got a good and a bad side, and she let it show. And I really enjoy authors who are not afraid of that. Even our good guys still had some fucking negative shit and still wanted to be fucking petty and wanted to be a little, just be like, fuck you, dude, for pissing me off or hurting me or all that other jazz. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the acceptance that everybody's got a little bit of a dark side and how much people let out of that dark side when it comes right down to it, because we all have it. We all want to be petty sometimes. We've all done it. No one is above being petty, and some of the things they're petty about are pretty ridiculous. And some of the things that they are serious about, holy shit. Hold the phone. What? What? Like, I had a really good time with just who is fucking over who and why. And just, it was great. That was actually part of the most fun I had with this book, was just that family fucking drama right there. Like, I was just like, this feels like a Jerry Springer episode, and I am down. Sign me the fuck up. This is great. I loved it. Had a great time with that. As much as I liked this book, there's a few things in this that didn't work. The biggest one, though, was the big plot twist. I figured that out very, very early on in the book. It was pretty clear what was going to happen, and it's exactly what happened. There could have been a bigger twist, but the author chose not to go with it. She went with the blatantly obvious, which was slightly annoying, because she did have some twists in here that I didn't see coming, and I really appreciated it. I was like, whoa, hold up. You did that, but you gave me the blatant obvious thing here. Well, that's sucky. But she did an equal balance of it, but the big, huge twist was like, yeah, kind of called this chick. Called it. Thanks. Damn it. That's fucking annoying. It wasn't fun that I was right, because it was so blatantly obvious to me. However, I did have fun with some of the twists that I didn't get, because they were the drama. I was just like, it was like my daughter coming home and saying, do you know what happened at school today? No, it involves so-and-so. Oh, dude, let me just get my drink. We're gonna sit here and talk about it, okay? We're gonna sit and talk about it because I want the tea. Like, it was drama level like that, and I had fun with those. But the big fucking twist, I didn't. I was just like, yeah, called that. That makes sense. So, that was kind of depressing on that one. Another thing that was kind of difficult in this book to do is, and I don't really know why it was for me. Usually I don't have a problem with this, but for some reason, the way this book is laid out, it was a little difficult to keep track of the family tree. So we have specific relations, and they're all interrelated. They're all cousins. But then we have some parents that are gone, some parents that are there, some parents that were important, some parents that just disappeared, and then we go back even more generations. I really think this book would have benefited from like a family tree in the beginning of it, so you can kind of see like who's related to who, something like that. Just kind of some reference material to it, because we are going back multiple generations, and even with the ghosts, we're going back different generations. So that would have been really nice to have that kind of like reference point that I could go back to and be like, oh, that's who belongs with who. It was a very long, convoluted family tree. So that was kind of depressing for me, because I felt a lot of times I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Whose mother was this again that got offed because of this? Okay, who was the one that went crazy? Who's the ones that's in charge? Okay, you're the niece of this, with the great niece, the cousin twice removed. It fucked up like that. Like, I needed a diagram, okay? I needed a diagram. Really wish there would have been a family tree in this. Definitely would have benefited a lot. In this book, we have some family stories, and they're identified that they're a story. They're written in italics, which is fine, but they would just be interjected, and you could kind of see why that they were there, but they needed clearer explanation to like why this story was important. You could sort of see it, but like there was some that were very, very correlated, but each girl has a different version of the same story, and we would get that, but it'd be different times in the books. You'd be like, I've already heard this story, but I heard it differently. And that's how families are. So it made sense that it was there, but it would have been nicer to have clear explanations around said stories of why we're getting said story, and not just the random story being thrown out there. Like, there's a lesson here, there's a moral, there's a reason for this story, but you didn't give me shit why. They're just talking about stories, and I'm supposed to remember this fucking story, but you gave it to me 3 different versions because it was given 3 different versions. So that was a little bit annoyance, and it also fucked up the family line even more, because in the stories they talk about the family lines, and that can be kind of confusing with what the actual truth part of the story is. So that was slightly confusing. It needed to be made clearer, more fleshed out, more understood, more organized. Along with that family, this book definitely needed some more organization and maybe just a little bit more editing to make it to flow a little bit nicer. The story is great, but its flow does not allow for that great story to really shine, because you have to fight it partway through the book. And then another thing you have to deal with is that the beginning is very slow moving. I mean, we were about halfway through when she started seeing the ghost, and that was kind of like the title of the fucking book, The Briar Book of the Dead. This bitch can't do shit for majority of the book. It lends to building Ellie's character exceptionally well, but it doesn't lend to the speed of this story and really getting you attached to the story. It was very slow going in the beginning, but once you're in it and she actually starts seeing ghosts and we start really seeing the plot really start to develop and unfold, it's great. But to get there, you have to go quite a ways. And that's really annoying. That needed to be shortened up, or we needed more of the drama in this first part other than the little bit that we got, because the little bit we got was not enough to really sink your teeth into and be like, yeah, I need to keep reading this. I need to keep going. I need to keep going. So definitely needed to be a little faster on the pace. But as for a spice rating, there's no spice rating. There is romance in this book, but it is completely closed door, and you were just insinuated that it happens. You don't get any details, nothing. There is one moment, though, where you think that we might get some super sexy fun times. Well, super sexy fun times happen, but you get to see none of it. You just get to see her leaving the next day in her walk of shame. That's pretty much it. I'm like, well, that's annoying, because that build-up with the male interest and Ellie, without spoiling too much, male interest and Ellie, you find out very quickly that that's that, so it's not really a spoiler. It was really good, and I liked the way he was getting into it and, like, drawing her in with a story, and I'm just like, oh, are we gonna get it? And then, boom, closed door, and I'm like, oh, you fucking suck. I want to see. This is sad. So no spice rate on that, but I had a really, really good time with this one. 3 stars. It's solid. It is a solid one for me. Definitely want to pick up more of this author. I had a good time with it. Not a holiday book, but it looks very holiday-ish with the red and the gold and everything, but it has nothing to do with Christmas, guys. Absolutely nothing. This was not the month to pick this in. This is more like a Halloween spooky read, for sure. But had a good time with it. Definitely check out our live show on the 29th. It'll be over on my channel at 4 p.m. Central Time, and find out what the other lovely ladies from the Black Hat Book Coven have to say about this book. And then also make sure to check out our tier rankings. We will all have them up in our order, and then we will tier rank as a group. And we'll see how well that works out. So the next book I completed this last week was this guy, The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. This is a new release from 2024. It just dropped in October. And this is the 3rd installment to the X-Hex series. And I believe that is now, this is actually like the conclusion. I don't know if she's gonna be releasing any more installments in the series. So as of right now, this is it. This is the last one. This is a Christmas holiday romance. Paranormal, but we also feature a workplace romance trope, a fake marriage trope, a one-bed trope, and we have time travel. That was done well. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with this. So in this installment, we follow Tamsin, who we've met in the very first one, X-Hex. And she is currently working for Bowen Penhowell. He is the third brother of the Penhowell brothers. He's the one that lives in like a shack in the middle of nowhere, and he's kind of a reclusive. And everyone thinks he's a werewolf because he's got a really big beard. But she works for him exclusively as a magical artifact acquirer. But during the holiday season, he doesn't really need her services because he's spending time with his family. So this job comes up that has a huge fucking payout, and she cannot resist it. So she takes the job, which brings her to Tywell Hall, I believe is how you say it. Tywell? Yeah, Tywell House. Sorry, Tywell House. Brings her there, where she has to acquire this magical brooch thing. It's this god-awful, ugly, ruby emerald piece of jewelry, okay? It's super Christmassy, super gaudy. I'd probably love it. All right, let's just be honest, okay? But while she's there, Bowen is still trying to figure out how to bring back his dead but not dead friend Declan. And Declan's family receives a wedding invitation from his former fiance, and Declan can't go because he's dead but not dead, so he convinces Bowen to go and use his family name as like an old family friend. And he goes. Well, the wedding is at Tywell House, where Tamsin is. They meet up, they realize, holy shit, they have a little conversation, they decide to work together because this is an artifact that he would actually be seeking out anyway. And so they're going to work together. However, the wedding does not go off as planned. The bride cannot go through with it because she's still in love with Declan. And so in a fit of crying, shame, whatever you want to say it, she grabs this fucking god-awful gaudy brooch that is known as the Star, and cries out a magical spell that says, if it can be undone, undo it. And then, poof, we're back in 1957 at another wedding close to Yule time, but this wedding is Bowen Penhowell's grandparents, and their wedding is called off, which means if they don't get them back together, he ceases to exist. And that's where our story really kicks off. So, what worked in this? Bowen and Tamsin. Tamsin, I think is how you say her fucking name. I don't know how you actually say it. I thought it was super funny, super adorable. I thought they were great together. Bowen is hilarious, especially with his grandparent stuff, because let's be honest, he's back in 1957 when their grandparents were getting married. So they're young, they're cute. Tamsin thinks they're fucking hot and hot to trot for each other. And he's just like, these are my grandparents. I don't need blinders. I don't need to know this. So this constant back and forth and kind of nitpicking at him. And I thought it was really great. It reminded me and my husband of how we joke back and forth with each other. And I just really, really enjoyed that. Erin Sterling did that in Kiss Curse as well. And I thought that was great. She carried it over, but in their own, it wasn't the same as Wells and Gwen, I can't remember what her name was in Kiss Curse. It wasn't the same, but it was very reminiscent of it. It definitely fit them for their situation, but it's still good. I love the banter. I thought it was great. I love the Christmas feel of this book. This was my first Christmas read of the month, guys, and it hit just where it needed to be. We got enough description where I felt like it was Christmas or Yule, because that's what they were celebrating, and we got the snow, we got the garland, we got mistletoe, we got cheesy fucking drinks. But also, then we get them thrown back into time where traditions and the old-timey look and the clothing is fitted and there's fur and, you know, I ate all of that shit up. All that description was just fucking great. I loved it. And on top of that, it was Christmas in like a fucking castle with Yule logs and wassailing and everything. And haunted ghosts. Because let's fucking be honest, okay? Christmas is a spooky fucking time. It can be cheery, it can be beautiful, but it can be spooky. It can be spooky. One of my favorite Christmas stories is Christmas Carol. It's about ghosts. So having a haunted Christmas almost castle with fucking ghosts is dope. And I loved it. I love the Christmas feel this whole thing gave. I just, should have been drinking apple cider with it or some wassail. Oh my God. I feel like I didn't drink the right beverage with this book, but it's okay. I still had a really good time with it. The time travel component. I'm not usually a big fan of time travel because people can fuck it up really easily. She didn't fuck it up. At least I didn't think she did. I thought she handled it pretty well. It made sense with what they had to do. It also made sense that if they don't complete it, they don't just stay. They cease to fucking exist. They just disappear, poof, out of oblivion. So that lent to the romance building that we already had started. It lent to this like now or never sort of thing, because if it doesn't work, we just wasted this time. So let's live like it's our last days. And I thought that was great because it could have been. It easily could have been. And I liked how it was incorporated within the story. And then how it was resolved. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was great because it resolved well enough that I felt comfortable that everything was fine. And it was brought to the forefront. Is everything still the same? And then they make jokes about it. And I thought that was great. That was awesome. I did have a really good time with this book. It had a really cozy, Christmassy feel. It hit all the right spots. However, there was one major thing that didn't work in this book, which really knocked it down a peg because it was just fucking stupid. Okay, so how both parties get to Tywell House. Okay, the reason for both just didn't work for me. Okay, it just fucking didn't. Bowen's reason was completely unnecessary and dumb as shit. He is going to his dead, but not dead's friend, because he's like a ghost, but he's not actually fucking dead, because of a spell that he cast well back in the day, because he was being stupid, and he did it wrong. He is going to his dead, but not dead ex-roommate's ex-fiance's wedding, because her family sent his family, the dead, not dead person's family, a wedding invitation. And Declan can't go because apparently he can't traverse from this one fucking spot. But he can. He can't go, so he has his friend go, who doesn't really even know this girl all that well. And, oh, right, wasn't actually invited. His family was not invited at all. Why in the absolute fuck would her family send her ex-fiance's parents, because she's under the impression that Declan, the dead but not dead guy, is fucking dead. Okay, she doesn't know anything about not being dead. She thinks he's fucking dead because that's the rumor that got spread around school. Why in the fuck would she send an invite to them? Why? That's fucking stupid. That's just dumb. That was the dumbest thing. And I'm like, that's how you get Bowen to this house. That's how you choose to get him to this house? Really? Okay. I bought Tamsin's reason. I didn't like her reason because it made me think she was a bitch. I already didn't like her from what she did in the X-Hex with Reese and Viv. I didn't like her then. And now you're just carrying over the fact that I'm not supposed to like her. She doesn't hold to her word. She promised to be exclusive only to Bowen. She's been this way, and she's a money grubber. She's just like, oh, it's worth a bunch of fucking money. I'm just gonna do this. It wasn't like the job was sought out for her. She went looking for a fucking job. She already had one. Okay, she already did. And it just was annoying. So it made me not like her character in the first place. So now we're both there. Okay, we're both fucking there. And all of a sudden, now they're going to be fake pseudo whatever. Okay? And that's they get sent back in time before that ever actually gets fleshed out, thank fucking God. But that was stupid. You could have easily had Bowen researching this artifact and needing this artifact, finding out about said wedding, going and using the family heritage is like, oh, we're old family friends because they're Penhowells and these are the Merediths, so they're one of the oldest magic families in Wales. The same reason he used to get there in the first place, but now he actually has a legit reason to go. Get his exclusive artifact acquirer and be like, we need to go but it's a wedding, so you need to be a fake date for me. Leading up to, we are in a fake relationship. Leading up to, hey, we're getting thrown back in time. Hey, these people think we're fucking married. Fake marriage, 1-bedroom troop. Booms, Bob's your fucking uncle, there you fucking go. You did not have to do this stupid backwards thing. It was dumb. It was dumb. It could have been done so differently and been so much smoother and been so much fucking better. And not made me think Tamsin was a jackass and a liar. And not made me think the fuck about these people sending an invite to a dead person's parents. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Okay? It is. So that really just notched it down because that was just unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. There was so many better ways of doing that, and I really wish someone would have told her that. I think the book would have been much stronger. Much stronger. However, spice rating this bad boy. 2.5 chili peppers. There is a joint masturbation scene. Shut the fuck up. What? Abso-fucking-lutely. That was fucking dope. That was awesome. I did not see that one happening, and when it did, I was like, shut up. You are in the same bed, and you're just gonna take care of each other. You're gonna take care of yourselves next to each other, fantasizing about the person right fucking next to you. And you're gonna, oh, that's fucking great. Just to keep this rule that you can't hook up with your coworkers. That was awesome. That at a level of just nice. That it worked for this couple because they just bantered back and forth. I mean, you gotta when you read the book, you'll understand why this makes perfect sense for this couple. But it was so fucking good. I was like, yes, that is awesome. And then we get the scene with Bowen and his wildness, and that's how I'm gonna say wildness. And I fucking love that shit. That bath scene with the mirror, abso-fucking-lutely, that definitely was a great FTD bank scene right there. I will reread that one over again, absolutely. That was fucking great. That was great. I'm not a big, huge fan of bathroom sex because most bathrooms aren't big enough, but that bathtub scene, and then you throw a fucking mirror in there, oh, God, yes. I love a good mirror in there, okay? The mirror is a great fucking trick, guys. If any dudes are watching this video and you've not done the mirror trick where you were behind a girl and you force her to look at herself while you're fucking her in the mirror, what the fuck is wrong with you? Fix it. Because it's dope. Okay? It's a great fucking move. It's a great fucking move. Perfect, actually. Absolutely. Great. Oh, we also got multiple locations in this. We gotta get to tree, we get some outside stuff, we got a bathtub, we got a big 4-poster bed with some curtains around it, like castle-style bed. Oh, would have killed for that. That'd be awesome. And man, we keep talking about Bowen's beard like it's a constant running joke that his beard is crazy and wild. I'm all about the beard. My husband's got a beard, so I'm all about it. Like, bring it on. I like my guys to look manly, okay? I do. Bowen's probably my favorite out of all of the guys. Wells, personality, but Bowen looks-wise, that's my dude right there. Out of the Penthouse, abso-fucking-lutely. Reese is too much of a pretty boy, too pompous. Wells is just fucking snarky, and he's that, really hot nerd. Bowen, he's that hot history professor. Fuck yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Got it down. Loved it. Absolutely. Had a huge good time with it. So I gave this 2.5 chili peppers. Out of all the books, I probably had the best time in the spice department with this one. But out of the three, I think the Kiss Curse is probably the best because of the way it's laid out, the way it plays out, the way everything works together. I think that's probably, but I might have to go back into it. But right now, this series is complete. So if you guys like to see a whole rundown of this series, I have the whole thing. I would love to do a series review for you guys, but just let me know if you'd like to see it, and I can break all of these guys down. But this was 3 stars as well for me. And that's what I completed this week, guys. Just these 2. Looks Christmassy, not Christmassy, and still very cute and hot. So, yeah. I had a really good time this week with these books. I definitely enjoyed them. So that's what I got for you guys today. And I will see you guys all soon with another video. And do check back on the 29th for the live show when we talk about this bad boy. And if you made it this far at the end of the video and you'd like to see a series review of the X-Hex trilogy by Aaron Sterling from yours truly, let me know. Put in the down box below and I'll see what I can do. I'll see you guys later.